Hey guys, Dan Lotz here. You probably rarely see these on camera, my glasses. Mostly because they reflect off the light. I don't like wearing them just because it makes it harder to film. Sometimes you'll see Joel wear them in some of our movies. This is a story about my eyes, and I want to tell you guys about why I'm sort of going blind. When I was 10 years old, I remember my mom took me to the eye doctor. I don't remember exactly for what reason. Maybe I was complaining about my vision. Maybe it was just a routine checkup. But my mom took me in and we went to just the regular old eye doctor. And I remember getting through the appointment and they seemed concerned. They definitely seemed more concerned than you would expect. Even as a 10-year-old, I kind of knew something was off. And they said, oh, you gotta go see this specialist, a different doctor. So fast forward a couple weeks, and we ended up seeing this doctor, my doctor, Dr. Davis. And she basically told me that I have a condition, macular degeneration, and specifically Drusen, which are basically like these little spots in your eyes. When they look at it, especially they look at my nerves look like almost exploding volcanoes. That's how she told me when I was a kid. And of course this is terrifying when you're 10 years old. People are prodding and poking you. I remember, and all throughout my life, I've gone through many different tests and diagnoses from doctors. I've gone in there many times and done the field of vision test. If you know what that is, it's basically they stick your head in this little white room. You're not allowed to blink for probably like a good 5-10 minutes while you're trying to see these little specks of light against the white backdrop. It's very, very annoying would be the way to describe it. It definitely got less annoying the older I got, but when I was a kid, it felt like I had to sit still for an hour. What this means for me is there's the potential that I could basically go blind. Not in the literal sense, because from what I've heard about macular degeneration and Drusen, it would be more of a legal blindness. I basically would be able to see very, very small things, maybe light itself, but I wouldn't be able to see anything in terms of depth or perception. So there could be a chance that this Drusen and macular degeneration progresses to a point where I'm effectively blind. And that's a problem if you know what position I'm in, which is being a filmmaker. So this is my story about what I'm doing about it and my outlook on life, I guess. So when I kind of got this diagnosis very young, it never really deterred me to become a filmmaker. I always had been interested in visual mediums. That's always been like the thing that has been most a part of my life. So it really didn't have too much effect in terms of my career choice. I just decided I'm going to be a filmmaker. I want to do that. But definitely as I got older, it's made me consider the possibility that I could lose the most valuable asset a filmmaker has, which is their eyes. The first thing that I have decided to do is to develop a system in case I ever do go blind, because most people who have Drusen are in their 50s or 60s. It's very uncommon for someone who has Drusen to have it at such a young age. And the people who do have it at a young age are born with it. So there's really no cure for it. I was born with Drusen. I will have it till the day I die. There is no cure for this illness. So I have to live with the reality that Drusen is probably not going to be cured within my lifetime. It could, but it's not necessarily something that I've ever truly put a ton of thought or time into, because I don't expect that to actually happen. What I do put a lot of time and thought into is how would I react if I lost my vision? If tomorrow one of my nerves snapped, something happened, and basically I lost my vision instantly. A few things would probably be in order for me to kind of continue and go on. First, I would not be abandoning filmmaking. Even though it sounds insane if I was blind, like how would you be able to go on? I've kind of developed a little idea in my head. Me and my cinematographer, Joel Dick, have worked on many projects together. We have a very simple sort of communication. And I think one thing would be to create a card list of different shots that I would like to shoot. So it's like, hey, this is the Carl and Meredith scene from Long Con. Put that as card 1. Card 2, card 3, card 4, and each of these cards would contain a shot that I enjoy. So if I ever lost my vision, I could probably say, go to card 1, card 3, and card 4. We'll shoot those scenes and we'll do it. And knowing how Joel works, I think it would be very effective and I could still go on shooting a film. So what is my outlook in terms of filmmaking and where I'm going and where I'm headed as a filmmaker? This is probably the hardest part because it's a real possibility someone who has Drusen at age 25 could lose their vision by the time they're 20, 30, 40, 50 in those years. And it's something I've definitely come to that realization. It's the reason why I'm making my 12 features project. It's the reason why I've made, up until this point, 5 feature films. I don't have time to waste. I don't. You gotta live every day like it's your last day you have. And for me, that could be it. I mean, I could wake up in 5 years and lose my vision, and the films I've made are a testament to what I've done and what I can see. And if that's it, I'll be happy with that. I've been happy with the 5 films I've made. I've been really happy with the 5 films I've made, and for someone like me who's just an average, regular filmmaker, it's pretty awesome that I've made 5 films, and I feel like I've lived my dream already. So anything else is kind of after the fact. So for me, it's not a big deal if I lose my vision. It would be sad, I would be depressed, but I think I would move on from it. I think I would be able to survive because I've achieved my goal. I've made 5 feature films. I'm making the 12 features. I'm using the skills that I have right now and putting them to use in the moment. And I'm not letting myself be held back by anything other than my own ambition. So for me, losing my eyesight would be a devastating blow, but it wouldn't be any bit of a setback from what I'm doing right now. If that means I won't be able to make more films, then I understand that. But I think that you have to be determined. You have to be determined to make stuff. You have to be determined to create. And I wouldn't let my potential loss of vision stop me from being a filmmaker just because I might lose my vision later on. A good example, I've been really getting into the Beach Boys. And Brian Wilson had 90% ear loss in one of his ears because his dad used to beat him up. And he became one of the most talented musicians of all time. And I think that a lot of great artists are people who have lost certain senses. And I think that in some way can maybe heighten their ability to try to push past that limitation. And so if I ever lost my vision, I would hope that I would try as much as I possibly could to remain a filmmaker and to be someone who'll be trying to push the medium forward. So this is definitely a different video, not something I'm usually posting on here, but I hope that this is, informative, I guess. So thanks guys, and subscribe if you want to.